By 1500, Portugal began undercutting Venice and the Ottoman Empire, who had dominated the spice trade. With direct access to Asian markets, Portuguese merchants could offer lower prices than earlier middlemen. After securing a profitable sea route to India, Portugal continued to expand its influence even farther across Asia. Rather than stopping at the Indian subcontinent, Portuguese sailors and merchants pushed steadily eastward, seeking new markets and opportunities within the vast trading systems of the East. As they advanced, the Portuguese established a network of strategic trading posts along the coasts of India and eventually China. These coastal bases allowed them to participate directly in regional trade, exchange goods, and maintain a steady presence in important commercial centers. Instead of conquering large territories inland, the Portuguese focused on controlling key ports, which gave them significant influence over maritime trade routes. One of their greatest achievements in this eastern expansion was gaining control of Macao, located at the mouth of the Pearl River in China. From this valuable position, Portuguese traders could engage directly with Chinese markets while also linking Europe to the rich goods of East Asia. Through this eastward push, Portugal created a far-reaching maritime network that connected Europe, Africa, India, and China. Their expansion marked a new phase in global history, as trade, ideas, and goods began to flow more directly across continents than ever. A trading post empire. Unlike later European empires, Portugal did not seek to conquer vast inland territories or build large colonial populations. Instead, it developed a different kind of empire, one focused on the sea. Portuguese power rested on a network of fortified ports, trading stations, and naval outposts strategically placed along key coastal routes. These locations allowed Portuguese ships to resupply, defend themselves, and control access to important trade hubs. Strong stone fortresses protected merchants and goods, while naval patrols ensured that Portuguese fleets could dominate major sea lanes. This approach meant that Portugal's influence extended far beyond the limited land it physically occupied. By controlling critical points along maritime routes, from West Africa to India and even into East Asia, the Portuguese were able to regulate the flow of goods across vast distances. The ultimate goal was not territorial conquest, but control of commerce. By dominating trade in valuable items such as gold, spices, and luxury goods, Portugal could generate immense wealth without governing large populations or inland regions. This maritime strategy made Portugal one of the first global trading powers, shaping the early foundations of a connected world economy. Despite being a small nation with a modest population, Portugal created a massive maritime network. Two major factors explain this success. As Portugal's trading network expanded across Africa and Asia, commerce began to flourish on an unprecedented scale. This success was largely due to the fact that trade was mutually beneficial for all parties involved. The Portuguese brought goods that were highly valued in foreign markets, including wine, wool, olive oil, steel, and firearms. These items were often difficult or impossible to produce in many of the regions they visited, making them attractive to local rulers and merchants. In exchange, Portuguese traders received valuable commodities such as spices, precious metals, textiles, and luxury goods that were in high demand in Europe. Eastern merchants, in particular, proved eager trading partners. They recognized the usefulness and appeal of European products, and they were willing to exchange their own goods in return. This created a dynamic and profitable system of exchange that connected distant parts of the world. As long as both sides perceived that they were gaining something of value, trade continued to thrive. This spirit of mutual advantage helped sustain Portugal's far-reaching commercial network and contributed to the growth of early global trade, linking Europe, Africa, and Asia in ways that had never been seen before. As Portugal expanded its influence across the seas, its success depended not only on trade and navigation, but also on military strength. Portuguese ships were equipped with modern cannons, giving them a significant advantage over many other vessels they encountered. Just as important, these ships were crewed by highly trained sailors, skilled in both navigation and combat. In the early years, Portuguese fleets were relatively small. A typical expedition might consist of just a few ships, for example, 3 vessels carrying around 20 guns in total. Even at this scale, however, they possessed enough firepower to defend themselves and to intimidate rivals or local forces. This combination of mobility and weaponry made them difficult to challenge at sea. Over time, Portuguese expeditions became larger and more powerful. Later fleets were heavily armed and capable of defeating local naval forces or coercing coastal cities into cooperation. Their ships could not only protect trade routes, but also enforce Portugal's control over key ports and strategic waterways. This blend of advanced weaponry and expert navigation allowed the Portuguese to dominate major sea routes. Rather than relying solely on diplomacy or trade agreements, they could back their ambitions with force when necessary. In doing so, Portugal secured its position as one of the first great naval powers, shaping the flow of global commerce in the early modern world.